Hi everybody, welcome back to Ponderosa North for the love of Bonanza. Today I'm going to just give you a brief history of Nevada. It's kind of interested me ever since I've watched Bonanza. So I delved into a bit of the state's history. And like I said, this is just a brief overview of from the beginning. And in the beginning, of course, it was native land. The Gashut and the Mojave, Paiute, Shoshone, and Washoe tribes. Most famous was Chief Winnemucca, and here is Chief Winnemucca. He is the son of Truckee, so a lot of places around Nevada have those native Paiute names. I'm not sure why, not really much is known about Winnemucca. His daughter Sarah did a lot of writing about him, and I didn't really go into all of it. So if you want to learn more about Chief Winnemucca, just look up Sarah Winnemucca, and she can and her writings will tell you all about him. I'm not sure why. He was very anti-European, and it was very instrumental in the Paiute Wars in 1860. And I'm not sure why he's not in native dress. I'm not sure why he's in this European dress, but I couldn't really find a picture of him in his native dress. So very interesting character, and often mentioned in episodes of Bonanza. So moving on, Nevada was claimed by the Spanish Empire in the early 1800s. The first settlement in 1851 was Genoa, as a trading post for the immigrant trail, and it was originally a Mormon station. Of course, Utah, Nevada neighbors, so there was a Mormon presence there, and then Mexico sort of took control, but they never really had a government formed there. Mexico, they didn't. There was mountain men in the area around the 1827 in the Washoe, but documents of them, mountain men, but not of sort of Mexican rule. So it was just sort of vast area, region. And I actually drove from Vegas to up to Incline Village. It was an 8-hour drive through Nevada. And there is a whole lot of nothing between there. The midpoint was Tonopah, where we stopped for lunch, small little town. Went through a lot of nuclear testing sites and a lot of reserves, native reserves. So they did test nuclear weapons in Nevada. The last test was in September of 1992. They no longer use Nevada as a nuclear testing site. So yeah, I don't know why, but I guess that's a good thing. So going back to the establishment of Nevada, it was taken over by the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo as a territory by the U.S. government, and it's a huge territory that was taken over in that treaty from the Spanish. Guadalupe Hidalgo, so parts of California, Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, etc. So it was a huge chunk of land, and it was established as, I guess, a territory. And it gained statehood through Abe Lincoln in 1867. It was the 36th state. It entered the Union the same time as West Virginia. So, I mean, the history is sort of, it was native land, it was Spanish land, and then it was taken over in this treaty by the U.S. Adam Haas and Ben would have settled in Nevada around 1840. I always go by how old Joe would have been in 1859 at the Comstock Lode, and they say around 1718. So he was born on the Ponderosa, so that would bring the settlement of the Cartwrights in Nevada around the early 1840s. What else can I tell you about the history of Nevada? Of course, the Comstock Lode was struck in 1859, and it was a huge benefit strike for Nevada and the United States. It produced so much wealth so such a rush of people from all over the world, really. They found gold and silver in the hills of Virginia City. That's just a little shanty town that people came and hoped for the best. They just started digging and staked their claims, and there was bonanzas to be had. Oops, that's backwards. So very dark, dangerous work, underground. How much money did the Comstock Lode generate? 7 million tons of silver alone. At the time, there was $14 million worth of gold and $21 million worth of silver. What's that in today's monies? In today's money, gold would have generated $356 million worth of gold and $534 million worth of silver. Now, those mines were tapped out by 1898. So it had quite a long run there, but Virginia City just became this populace of 40,000, 50,000 people, and then just died. It just after everything was gone, everybody vamooshed and went elsewhere. So I'm just going to mention a few facts about the state of Nevada, known as the Silver State or the Battle-Born State. It still is the largest gold producer in the U.S. and the fourth largest in the world. It still produces a great deal of gold. Most of the state, 85% of it, is owned by the federal government. As I mentioned, it was used as a nuclear weapons testing site. It's home to gambling meccas: Carson City, Reno, Vegas. Why? Why is it such a mecca for gambling? Well, in 1931, during the Depression, it was simply a way to generate money for the state. And it just continued on, and they're still generating lots of money from the gamblers. So that's why Nevada is a gambling mecca. I mentioned about the Comstock Lode, struck in 1859. Probably the biggest thing that ever happened in Nevada. It was tapped out by 1898, like I said. 1875, Virginia City was mostly destroyed by a fire. Not really sure about the how it started or how they rebuilt, but you can visit Virginia City today. I've visited it many, many times. Also, I want to mention the Chinese, where Hop Sing fits into this. Well, the Chinese immigrated mostly from Guangdong and the Fujian provinces, and they were simply attracted by work. They needed the work, and they knew the West was being built. They needed miners, and they needed railroad workers and loggers, and they needed people to build irrigation. And of course, a lot of them went into the service industry, as we find Hop Sing in the service industry. So the Chinese did a lot of the building of the West, railroads and all that stuff. Here's a young man doing some work on the railroads. So I just want to mention a few of the episodes that involve the history of Nevada. The Spanish Grant, A House Divided, Mr. Henry Comstock, the Paiute War, the Hopefuls, and The War Comes to Washoe, just to name a few. So Bonanza used quite a bit of history in the storytelling of the series. I think I've covered all the bases here. If you have any questions or if you have anything to add, I'd be glad to hear about it. Any Nevadians out there. And we'll see you next time on Ponderosa North for the love of Bonanza.